Thank you, everybody. Welcome to the Obsession Podcast. I'm Mike Stadler.
I'm Carl Bethke.
How you doing, Carl?
I'm all right, Mike. How's it going?
Good. I thought I was on the Love Connection for a minute there or something. One of those old Wheel of Fortune.
We might cut that out.
So we are talking today about coming into basically that third week in October.
Yep.
How we hunt. People ask us how we hunt. So we're talking like 19th through the 25th-ish or so there, right when it's starting to be the best time of year.
Getting to be that time of year, isn't it?
Yep. And we kind of distinguish that week a little bit different from the 25th on.
Right.
But it is getting good.
It is.
So, I'll hit one thing, and then I'll let Carl hit one thing. So one of the first things we start there, really the 20th, for us both, is when we start to do some calling.
Yes. Yeah,
we don't call at all until at least the 20th.
That is a fact.
So if we're going to do any rattling, grunting, doe bleats, we are not decoying at that time at all.
Nope.
But we will start to do some grunting and stuff like that. A little bit of touch rattling.
Sparring.
Yeah, not stupid like we're killing each other out here,
Right.
but just a little, everybody's kind of feeling each other out.
Yep.
It's
I'm the man, you're the man.
It's the high school parking lot, and we're going to see what's happening.
Exactly.
Going to push around a little bit.
That's right.
That's one of the big things for us. October 20 is when we start to do a little calling.
Right. And that seems to be, we've been very productive from October 20th to, let's just say that October 25th, 26th time span.
Oh, yeah, a ton.
Doing that, especially with a good cold front coming in.
Yep.
Another thing, obviously, you guys know, we always talk weather. Pay close attention to your cold fronts. Even that time of year, we can have up to upper 70s, lower 80s at times here in southern Wisconsin. You've got to watch that weather moving up and down. It's very important at that time. Also, barometric pressure, rain or snow even. We've had snow that time of year too.
Well, our weather that week or this week too is real close to when we hunt early. If we hunt early, you can get those big cold fronts blow in. It can still be hot as hell yet.
Yep.
This time of year,
Yep. But it's getting to be, like Mike said, it's getting to be that time of year. So the boys are ramping up pretty good.
Yep.
And honestly, my cameras have shown I usually have one or two does that come into estrus early. We're going to say later in that time.
Yep.
That time. I'm going to say that I think the 24th to the 26th, I usually have an early doe. And I will tell you this, if you have a single doe come into estrus on the property, the biggest deer in your area is on that doe. Yeah, you can expect that.
He's going to find her.
Oh, yeah. You're going to see a lot of scraping activity ramp up hard. So your mock scrapes will start to get hit pretty darn good. Yeah. If it's warm, your water holes will be very productive.
Yeah.
Something to watch for.
Yeah, because they're going to be traveling a ton.
Yes.
So they're going to start looking and
best
wandering
places
around.
to hunt is transition at this time. Transition area.
We like transition.
Yes. So if you have plots in between that, I am still not a huge advocate of being right on the bedding area. Let's just say that 20th to 23rd range. And the reason for that, I'll hunt that transition from food back in the morning because this is when we start hunting mornings.
Yep.
And the reason we start hunting mornings at that point is they're spending more time trying to find or playing around with the does, leaving scrapes, checking their territories that they're trying to establish, making sure their competition is.
Because earlier in the year they're down early.
Yeah.
Because they're not doing any of that, so that's why like Carl says, that's when we start. We get in, we push in a little closer to the bedding because we can get there. They're out screwing off, doing the deer thing. It allows us to get in behind them, which is what we want. So that's when that starts for us, always, every year.
Yes.
And if you listen to our early stuff, we do not hunt mornings very rarely.
Yeah.
I mean, we will if it's right.
Yeah, but everything has to be right.
Everything has to be right for us to hunt mornings before
Plus, we have to know there's a certain deer there.
Yeah. So, and that's just what we do. But that's one of the points I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, no, that's one of the most important
obviously.
Points. The other part of the other things we do too, when you're talking about the rattling, more later in the week is when we get to the edge of where we're we're starting to use decoys and things like that. So this is this is the beginning of our favorite time of the year.
Yep.
We're big pre-rut hunters, and the majority of animals you see at Mike's, or the majority of animals you see at my place, have been taken on the pre-rut, not the breeding phase. And we'll get into that later.
Yep.
But that's when we find the most productivity because of deer movement. More later in this week.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking like the 24th to the 25th, 26th time span is when you start to see, especially if there's cold temperatures, that buck movement, checking the scrapes and hitting it real heavy and starting to have that attitude problem where you can talk to them. That's a huge deal. As for food, you're going to get them bucks in the evenings coming out early, and they're going to be checking the areas where the does are.
Yeah.
Yep. So hence the transition. At this point, evening hunts, you can hunt a little bit closer to the food for sure. You know, let those does come in, come past, and expect to see bucks. You might even see bucks with them or right tight with them. Also at this time, the bucks still bed separate from the does. They're not going to be bedding with them. Bedding positions are still the same pretty much, but you'll start to see them bucks check that downwind side, especially in the mornings for does. So that's when, like I said, we start that morning hunt stuff.
Yeah, and that's when we're hunting our morning hunts this time of year, you know, like 20th through 23rd, 4th, 5th, like Carl said, we're going to sit more on a transition type stand.
Yes.
For these deer in the morning, coming back and forth. So we're going to get, like Carl said, a little bit in closer to the bedding because we want to be there when they come back through. So this is why we always watch what our movement is. We talk about all the time, east-west movement on both the properties. So this is when you should really be paying attention to your does and what they're doing. Because if you're not going to know what your bucks are doing.
The other thing I'm going to add, this is not the time to be shooting does.
No.
Doe fawns, does, adult does.
No.
Only one doe in the entire state should be shot, and her name is Blower.
Her name's Blower, and she lives here.
She lives here. She needs to die.
Yes.
But that being said, yeah, don't be shooting your does right now because all you're going to be doing is educating the deer. It's sound, it's sight, it's smell. That's what it's about. So you want to stay away from educating any deer right now for sure.
Yeah.
Exit entrance is also still very important. Make sure you use the winds the way you're supposed to. Don't just bomb into a stand. You have to understand where your deer are at what time of day. If they're in the food, you got to make sure that when you go in, your wind's not blowing anywhere close to that food and they can't see you moving around the edge of the food.
Yeah. No, especially these morning stands too. We talk about thermals all the time. Know your thermals in the morning. You can hunt a lot of places in the morning come this time of year.
Yeah.
But you got to know when to get out of there too.
Yep.
So that's a big thing, and we do it all the time.
Yeah.
But know it.
I will tell you this. In general, this time of year, come 9:30, you will start to see the air transition the opposite direction. You hear Mike and I talk in a lot of our other podcasts. About 9:30 is when we're getting out of the stands.
Yep, pretty much.
Depending on the properties. Currently, it depends on the weather. If you have a really cold day, you could probably sit till, you know, if you got a, let's just say this. Let's just say you got a 32-degree night and it's October 20th because there's a big cold front there. And you know the next day is going to be 60. Well, you could probably sit till 10:30 or close to 11 at that day because you're depending on how fast the temperature ramps up.
Yeah, it takes it a while.
Yeah, will come from either it being cloudy or clear. All the stuff you need to pay attention to that stuff. But that transition in time, as soon as that temp gets close to where it's not rising rapidly, that's when you need to get out of the tree stand. So I know you all carry one of these. Pay close attention to this. Weather Underground is great. HuntX has HuntWise. They've got all that other stuff. There's many different apps you can look, but pay close attention to that. Wind directions or wind speeds are important at this time, especially if you're dealing with thermals. If you have a constant wind speed of 10 miles an hour, you could probably push it a little bit more, as long as your wind is in the right direction. On the grounds that it's just going to keep pushing it either up the ridge or down the ridge or across the ridge or whatever. As long as your wind's not heading towards those deer, you'll be okay. But do not do the all-day sit thing. too early, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, we don't believe in all day sitting.
There's no stand you can sit in all day.
No. Not
Said
this
it.
kind of year. Yeah. You did
Said
say
it.
it. Yeah.
I said it.
You did.
So I'm sure we'll get some answer to that. No stand you can sit in all day
It's true.
with a bow.
True. Good point.
Period.
Period. Period. Period.
Period.
That's a fact.
Bird.
That's a fact. But that's about what we start doing this time of year,
Yep.
just so you guys know. I'm pretty sure if you follow those rules, a lot of you are going to start to be successful, especially this current time period. Hopefully it all works out for you, so good luck there.
Yep.
We appreciate each and every one of you. If you guys want to subscribe to the channel, make sure you hit the Reaper in the lower right-hand corner. We sure would appreciate that.
Check out our Wednesday shows as well.
Yep, every Wednesday right now we're going to be doing hunts. We're showing you the hunts that we had from the week before, if we did get out, whether it be Mike or myself. And we're a couple of the other guys that actually filmed for us, probably be bringing in some footage. We'll show you guys those hunts also. Like I said, we appreciate each and every one of you. If you want to listen to us on just the podcast, you can check us out at Spotify,
RSS.com.
Apple,
Google.
Amazon,
iHeart.
Check out Pretty Faces right here at YouTube. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Yeah, buddy.